What's your best story that is 100% real but nobody believes you? When I was about 16, I was in a restaurant in Melbourne with my cousin. Noticed a young guy eating with his family. I said to my cousin, "Ha ha, hey look, it's Harry Potter," because of his similarities to Daniel Radcliffe. My cousin replied, that is Harry Potter. It was. He was in Australia shooting an Aussie film. A bit later, I went to the toilet to pee. Whilst I was at the urinal, Daniel came in and began to pee in the urinal next to me. I looked over at him and we made eye contact and he said, "Nice wand." Finished, washed his hands and walked out. No one has ever believed this, and only my cousin can vouch for the fact that we saw him, but not for what he said in the toilet. About 7 or 8 years ago, I was really into humorous wiki vandalizations and thought it would be funny to claim that kiwi fruit were once called hairy bush fruit. I modified the page on kiwi fruit to say so. I cut and paste some random Chinese characters from elsewhere in the article and put this in, hairy bush fruit with some Chinese characters. Since then, it has been repeated all over the place and currently returns 61,000 hits on Google. It has been printed in The Guardian, which means it is now a 100% verifiable fact and will quite likely never be removed from the offending article. It is a kind of scary implication. The Guardian journalist that wrote the article should have noted that Wikipedia was used as reference, but didn't. There could quite easily be another circular reference like this, where a journalist repeats something incorrect, lifted from Wikipedia, and publishes it, which then means the incorrect fact can be referenced in the press. On the way to visit a friend, my husband and I got lost on a highway in Pennsylvania. By some weird chance, my husband's friend drives past us in the opposite direction. We see him and turn around to catch up to him. Finally pulling over, we are standing on the side of the road of a 2-lane highway discussing the directions to a friend's house. Surrounding us are farms with corn and other various crops. Out of nowhere, a duck appears on the opposite side of the road. He is looking at us curiously while we are talking. We watch him look both ways and waddle across the road to where we are standing. Cars are honking at him as they attempt to drive past. He gets over to my husband, pecks at his shoe once, and then promptly walks back across the street dodging cars traveling at high speed. He made it back across the street and disappeared into the crops. He risked his life to peck my husband's shoe and simply waddle out of our lives. A boy in my high school was into supernatural stuff and he claimed he had somehow seen me in my bedroom. He described in detail what I was wearing. Everyone thought I was in on it. I wasn't. When I was 15 years old, I was in my kitchen, home alone, cutting a pineapple. There was a fly that was buzzing around my face for the past 2 minutes and it was getting really effing annoying. So, just for the heck of it, out of pure blind rage, I grabbed my knife and swung it at the fly in midair. I sliced the fly in half. Sliced it in freaking half. After I did that, I immediately realized no one would ever believe me. I used to build lasers for the US and Spanish military for minimum wage without any qualifications. Also, I might have built some incorrectly, resulting in the $800 crystal breaking in half a dozen of times and another 2 dozen completed models requiring reassembly. So I saw the DVD logo hit the corner of the screen. Was walking home when I was 16 and a car pulled up behind me. Inside were 4 guys in balaclavas and a gun pointing out the window. The gun went click, so I effing bombed it over a hedge and ran like hell to the sound of some guy saying, "Wait, we're not gonna harm you." Edit, since so many people are asking, not likely a prank, no, friendly neighborhood terrorists, either the IRA or UVF, but probably the IRA. When I was in elementary school, my brother and I were walking home from school after it had rained all day. He started reaching his hand in all the puddles. I asked him what he was doing. "Sometimes there's money in these." 3 or 4 puddles later, he pulled out a $20 bill. I'm not sure if he yanked it from somewhere else and planted it, or it was legit. Either way, I now check puddles for treasures when there are no witnesses. How I ended up with my dog. I was on my way to the bus when I saw this dog calmly walking about. He approached me. I pet him a bit and went on my way. For some reason, he kept on following me. There were other people around us, but he kept on walking behind me. The bus station is by a busy street. I hoped to shake him off by the time I got there, but no. I wasn't sure what would happen if I got on the bus. Would he run after it? Would he hop on the bus? The stop I intended to hop off on is another heavily trafficked place. Neither of the options looked good, so I did the only thing I could think of. I headed home. On the way, I called my dad and told him a dog was following me. He laughed thinking it was my way of trying to skip school. He went along with it though, promising to drive us to the nearby dog shelter. Imagine his surprise when I come home with a dog. So we drive to the dog shelter where we have to turn him in. A week or so later, we get a call saying that no one has claimed the dog or reported him missing. My dad wanted a dog, but seeing as this fellow had followed me around, he figured, well, this is the one. And that, kids, is how I met my dog.